Captain Jake Morrison watched the big screen on his ship's bridge. The alien meeting room looked like nothing he had ever seen before. 12 different types of creatures sat in strange chairs made of crystal. They looked at the humans like they were looking at bugs. Ambassador Lisa Carter stood in the middle of the room. She wore her best blue uniform and held her head high. Behind her stood 3 other humans who had traveled across the galaxy for this moment. They had come to ask for peace. "We have tried to talk to you for 6 months," Lisa said. Her voice was calm, but everyone could hear she was serious. "All we want is for you to accept that humans exist. We want the right to protect our home and our people." The tall bug creature clicked his mouthparts. His name was High Chancellor Vex Thara, and he was the leader of this group. The sound he made was like laughing, but not friendly laughing. It was the kind of laugh that meant he thought humans were stupid. "Your people have only been around for a short time," he said. His voice sounded like metal scraping on stone. "You have no good weapons. You have no strong army. Your world sits in a part of space that nobody wants. Why should we waste our time talking about such weak creatures?" Dr. Helen Brooks stepped forward. She had spent months learning about these alien creatures. She knew how they thought and what made them angry or happy. She was Earth's best expert on alien minds. "Because not paying attention to us would be a big mistake," she said. "Humans have a saying. It goes like this: it is not how big the dog is in the fight. It is how big the fight is in the dog." The lizard creature with scars all over his body made a hissing sound. His name was General Zakmer, and he was a famous war leader. He had fought in many battles and won them all. The scars on his green skin told the story of every fight he had been in. "Your silly words make us laugh, tiny ones," he said. "We have taken over 17 star systems in just 10 years. All the humans in the galaxy could not beat even one of our small war fleets." Commander Rick Hayes was Earth's top military officer. He had fought in wars before the aliens came. He knew what real fighting looked like. He did not get angry when the aliens laughed at him. Instead, he touched his small computer pad. "We are sending you all our information," he said quietly. "You can see how many people we have. You can see what weapons we have built. You can see how fast our factories work. This is not us trying to scare you. This is us being polite and telling you the truth." The meeting room got very quiet. Information flowed across the alien computers like water. Most of the creatures barely looked at what the humans had sent them. They thought it was just lies from a weak species trying to look strong. But one creature in the room was different. Advisor Kethley looked like he was made of living glass. He was older than anyone else in the room. He had watched civilizations grow up and die for thousands of years. He read every word the humans had sent. The numbers told him something that scared him. The other aliens were too proud to see what he saw. But Kethley understood that these humans were not like other species the Council had met before. "High Chancellor," Kethley said. His voice sounded like wind blowing through glass tubes. "Maybe we should think about their request more carefully." Vex Thara waved one of his sharp claws like he was shooing away a fly. "The matter is finished. Humans are too weak to matter. Your star system is not protected by us. If you try to spread to other worlds, we will stop you with our armies." Lisa Carter nodded her head slowly. Her face did not show what she was thinking. "Very well. Let everyone remember that Earth asked for peace and you said no. We will not forget this day." The humans turned and walked out of the meeting room. As they left, Advisor Kethley moved closer to Vex Thara. The old crystal being was worried about what had just happened. "You have made a very bad mistake, High Chancellor," Kethley said quietly. "Did you look at their numbers? Did you see how many people they have? Did you see how much they can build? What about it, old crystal? Vexthara asked. They have 8 billion people on one world. That is not special compared to what we have. 8 billion people, Kefli said again, speaking very slowly. 8 billion people who grew up as the strongest hunters on a world where everything tries to kill them. 8 billion people who learned how to make war before they learned how to fly between stars. They can build more things than most of our worlds can build. And they did it all by themselves, with no help from anyone. Vexthara started to look less sure of himself. Surely you are making it sound worse than it is. I have watched new civilizations grow for 10,000 years, High Chancellor. These humans are different from anything I have ever seen. They do not just live in dangerous places, they get stronger in them. They do not just survive when bad things happen, they come back even tougher. And the most frightening thing of all is this: in all their history, they have never given up when they were fighting to stay alive. But the warning came too late. The decision had been made. The Galactic Council's pride would soon cost them more than they could imagine. Back on his ship, Captain Morrison got a secret message from Earth Command. The peaceful mission had failed, just like the military leaders thought it would. Set course for Earth, Lieutenant Adams, Morrison told his pilot, and send an urgent message to General Patricia Stone at Earth Defense Command. Tell her it is time to use Protocol 7. As Morrison's ship jumped to hyperspace, carrying the bad news back. To Earth, the galaxy had no idea what they had just done. They thought they had just dismissed a weak species that did not matter. They were wrong. They had just declared war on the most dangerous species they had ever met. The aliens would learn this lesson, but it would cost them more than they ever imagined. The humans had tried to make peace. Now they would show the galaxy what happened when Earth was threatened. The Council had ignored their warnings. Now they would face the consequences of that choice. The war was about to begin, and the aliens had no idea what was coming for them. In the cold darkness of space, Earth began to prepare for what every human knew was coming. They had tried talking. Now it was time to fight. And when humans fought for their survival, they had never lost. 3 weeks had passed since the humans left the alien meeting. The first Council war fleet came to the edge of Earth's solar system like a pack of wolves hunting sheep. Admiral Kyle Johnson stood on his space station called Cerberus. He watched the enemy ships appear on his screens. His space station orbited high above Earth. From here, Johnson could see his home planet spinning slowly in the darkness. Blue oceans and white clouds covered the world where 8 billion humans lived and worked. It was beautiful and peaceful. Soon it might become a battlefield. 37 ships, said Lieutenant Colonel Amy Walsh. She sat at the weapons control station studying her computers. Most of them were bug ships with some lizard destroyers to help them. They are sending us messages telling us to give up. Admiral Johnson was 62 years old. He had fought in 3 wars, and his body carried scars from many battles. His gray hair and lined face showed the weight of command. He studied the alien formation on the main screen. The enemy ships flew in a pattern meant to scare weak civilizations. They thought they were facing a primitive world with simple defenses. They had no idea what humans had built while preparing for this day. Have they finished looking at our defenses? Johnson asked. Yes, sir. They spent an hour counting our weapon platforms and satellites. They think they know everything we have to fight with. Johnson smiled, but it was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a hunter who had set a perfect trap. The aliens had seen Earth's orbital platforms and defensive satellites. They had spotted the military bases that humans wanted them to see, but they had missed the real defenses hidden throughout the solar system. Admiral, said Lieutenant Tony Garcia from the communication station, the enemy commander wants to talk to us. Put him on screen. A bug creature appeared above the command table as a glowing image. His name was High Commander Zelenoth. Like all his kind, he looked down on humans as inferior beings who deserved no respect. Primitive humans, the alien said. His voice buzzed like an angry insect. I am High Commander Zelenoth of the Galactic Council War Fleet. Your species has been judged unworthy. You will surrender all your weapons now and get ready to be moved to colony worlds. If you fight us, we will destroy everything in your system. Admiral Johnson stepped where the alien could see him. He wore his military uniform with pride. The medals on his chest told the story of a lifetime spent defending his people. High Commander, I am Admiral Kyle Johnson of the Earth Defense Force. I can offer you one chance to leave our system peacefully. The bug creature's mouthparts clicked in what humans had learned was alien laughter. You dare threaten us with your weak orbital platforms? We have scanned your defenses, human. You have maybe 24 armed satellites and a few primitive missile bases. My fleet could destroy everything you have without losing a single ship. High Commander, Johnson said calmly, you have made 2 big mistakes. First, you think those are only defenses. Second, you think we plan to fight a normal space battle. Before the alien could answer, Johnson nodded to Lieutenant Colonel Walsh. All around the solar system, hidden weapon platforms started powering up. Things the aliens thought were just floating rocks suddenly showed massive guns. Hidden mine fields, turned on and aimed at the Council fleet. What magic is this? The alien commander demanded, as his officers reported hundreds of new weapons appearing from nowhere. No magic, High Commander, just humans being human. Johnson's face stayed calm. We have had 12 months to get ready for this moment. Did you really think we spent that time doing nothing? The first attack came not from the weapon platforms, but from something much more frightening. Thousands of small objects that had been drifting cold and silent through space suddenly came to life. They had been waiting like sleeping predators for their moment to strike. Incoming missiles. A lizard officer shouted on one of the enemy destroyers. Thousands of them. They are too small for our weapons to hit easily. Captain Nina Foster watched the battle from a hidden command bunker deep under the Colorado mountains. She smiled as she studied the tactical display showing the fight in space above. Kinetic kill vehicles are such a simple idea, she said to Colonel Jack Martinez, her aide. Accelerate a piece of metal to near light speed, and it does not matter how good your shields are. The Council fleet's energy shields were designed to stop laser beams and plasma bolts. They were useless against solid objects moving at incredible speed. The first alien cruiser died when 3 metal rods punched through its hull like bullets through paper. The ship exploded in a ball of fire and metal. Evasive action. Zelenoth commanded, but it was too late. The humans had calculated where the fleet would be hours before. The Council ships found themselves trapped in a killing field with nowhere to run dot in 20 minutes. 16 Council ships were destroyed or badly damaged. The survivors tried to retreat with their formations broken and their confidence shattered. That was when they discovered Earth's second surprise. Hyperspace engines are not working. The navigation officer on Zelenoth's flagship reported in panic. Something is stopping our jump drives. Dr. Elizabeth Reed watched from her laboratory on the moon as the hyperspace blocking system worked perfectly. Gravity manipulation technology, she explained to the recording devices. We studied how Council jump drives work for months. Turn off their ability to bend space and time, and they are stuck in normal space just like everyone else. The Battle of Seoul lasted 18 hours. When it ended, a mighty Council enforcement fleet had been reduced to 4 badly damaged ships. Earth forces let them escape not out of kindness, but to carry word of human capabilities back to the Galactic Council. High Commander Zelenoth sat on his ruined bridge surrounded by smoke and sparks. He stared at Admiral Johnson's image one last time. "This cannot be possible," the alien whispered. "No primitive civilization has such technology. Who told you we were primitive?" Johnson asked quietly. "We have been traveling between stars for over a century. We just chose not to tell anyone until we were ready. The question now, High Commander, is whether the Galactic Council is ready for us." The surviving alien ships limped away from Earth's solar system. Behind them, they left the wreckage of what had once been considered an invincible fleet. The message they carried back to their leaders was simple and terrifying. The humans were not what they appeared to be. Earth was not a primitive world waiting to be conquered. It was a fortress defended by warriors who had turned their entire solar system into a weapon. The Galactic Council had ignored the warnings about Earth. Now they were learning the price of that mistake. But this was only the beginning. The real war was yet to come, and the aliens had no idea how much worse things were about to get in the cold depths of space. More Council fleets were already gathering. They would come with greater numbers and better weapons. But they would find that humans had not been idle since the first battle. Earth's children were preparing for the storm that was coming. The galaxy was about to learn why humans had never lost a war when fighting for their survival. The news of the first battle at Earth spread across the galaxy like wildfire. In the crystal halls of the Central Authority on Nexus Prime, alien leaders held emergency meetings. Military commanders struggled to explain how humans had destroyed one of their best fleets. General Patricia Stone stood in the Pentagon's war room on Earth. Around her, glowing displays showed Council fleet movements throughout the galaxy. As Earth's top military commander, she had spent 3 months since the first battle preparing for what she knew was coming. Intelligence reports say they are gathering a huge fleet at the Korathian military base in the Sigma Draconis system, said Colonel Ryan Parker, head of strategic intelligence. "We think they have over 300 ships, including their newest and biggest warships." Stone nodded grimly. The humans had hurt the Council's pride in the first battle. That would only make them more dangerous and angry. What types of ships are they bringing? 60% are lizard ships. They are treating this as a personal insult now. 30% are bug ships wanting revenge for their losses at Sol. The last 10% are ships from 8 other alien species, including some we have never seen before. Dr. Richard Clark, Earth's top expert on alien species, stepped forward with his report. "The inclusion of ships from the Etherian Empire worries me most, General. They are energy beings with technology that works completely differently from the others. Our defenses might not work as well against them." "What about our preparations?" Stone asked. Captain Susan Bailey represented the newly formed Earth Expeditionary Force. She smiled with confidence that came from months of hard work. "The orbital shipyards have built more ships than we hoped. We now have 47 ships of the line, including 12 of the new Warhammer-class dreadnoughts. More importantly, we have finished setting up the outer system defense grid." Stone studied the tactical displays. Earth's strategy had grown far beyond just defending their solar system. While the aliens prepared for a normal fleet battle, humanity had been building something much more ambitious. "General," interrupted Commander Greg Turner from Communications, "we are getting an urgent message from the Deep Space Monitoring Station at Alpha Centauri." The display changed to show Commander Lisa Price, Earth's top officer at humanity's first colony beyond the solar system. Her face was tense as she gave her report. "General Stone, Council scout ships have been testing our outer defenses for the past week. We intercepted their communications. They plan to attack all human colonies at the same time, not just Earth. They want to end this war before we can spread to more worlds." Stone looked at her staff officers. The aliens had learned from their first defeat. They would not underestimate humanity again. But they had also shown a critical weakness. They still thought like a galactic empire facing a single world species. Commander Price, start Contingency Plan Delta. All colonial assets must disappear from alien sensors within 72 hours. Understood, General. Starting Ghost Protocol now. As the transmission ended, Stone turned to her assembled commanders. Ladies and gentlemen, the Galactic Council is about to learn why humans became the top species on Earth. We did not get there by fighting fairly. 3 days later, the Council's Grand Fleet arrived at the edge of Earth's solar system. They expected to find humanity's weak defenses waiting to be destroyed. Instead, they found nothing. Supreme Commander Thrakson was the legendary Carathaean general who had never lost a battle. He stood on the bridge of his flagship Worldrender and stared at empty space where Earth's orbital defenses should have been. Where? Are there weapon platforms? He demanded of his tactical officers. Our scouts reported hundreds of armed stations throughout this system. Unknown, Supreme Commander. We are finding some debris fields that might show hasty evacuations, but no. Active military installations. Even their orbital cities appear to have been abandoned. Thrakson's lizard features twisted into an angry scowl. No species abandons their home world without a fight. This is a trap. He was absolutely right, but the trap was far more clever than he could imagine. Captain Danny Brooks commanded a hidden observation post concealed in Saturn's rings. He watched the Council fleet advance toward Earth's inner system. All units report ready, General Stone, he sent via quantum communicator. They are taking the bait perfectly. Stone's voice came back across the impossible distance. Patience, Captain. Let them commit fully before we spring the surprise. The Council fleet, encouraged by the lack of resistance, sped up toward Earth. They passed Mars, then approached the asteroid belt where they expected to find mining stations. And defensive platforms. Instead, they found the asteroids themselves opening fire. Impossible. Thrakson roared as energy beams shot out from what looked like ordinary space rocks. Asteroids do not have weapons. They do when humans hollow them out and turn them into hidden battle stations, muttered his aide, a younger Carathaean officer named Kazith, who had studied human military history. Supreme Commander, we need to retreat immediately. This entire system is a trap, but it was too late. The battle of the asteroid belt had begun, and humanity was about to show why they had never lost a war when fighting for survival. The hidden human fleet, 47 ships that had been concealed inside, hollowed-out asteroids, revealed themselves all at once. The Council forces found themselves caught between the disguised battle stations and a mobile fleet that fought with tactics they had never seen. Human ships did not stay in formation like civilized species. They scattered like a pack of hunting wolves, using the asteroid field's strange gravity to perform moves that should have been impossible. They fired weapons while spinning, used asteroid crashes as cover, and showed a three-dimensional fighting awareness that the formation-loving Council forces could not match. Captain Nina Foster commanded the human dreadnought Terra's Wrath from inside a hollowed asteroid. All ships, execute pattern chaos, she ordered. Show them how predators really fight. The human ships moved like living things through the asteroid field. They used the floating rocks as shields and weapons, sometimes, ramming damaged asteroids into enemy ships. They fired from unexpected angles and disappeared into the maze of spinning debris before the aliens could target them effectively. The aliens had brought their biggest and most powerful ships, but size meant nothing when you could not hit your targets. The human ships were smaller and faster, designed for exactly this kind of fighting. The battle raged for 6 hours. When it ended, the mighty Council fleet had been reduced to fewer than 60 ships, while Earth's forces remained mostly intact. Supreme Commander Thrakson sat on his damaged flagship, his fleet in ruins around him. He sent one final message to the human forces. What kind of creatures are you that you turn empty space itself into a weapon? Admiral Johnson's response would be remembered throughout galactic history. We are humans, Supreme Commander. We turn everything into a weapon, including the inconvenience of physics. Now get out of our system and do not come back. The surviving alien ships retreated into hyperspace, carrying news of another devastating defeat back to the Galactic Council. Behind them, they left the wreckage of the most powerful fleet ever assembled. The message was clear. Earth was not just defended. It was a fortress system where every rock, every piece of debris, every empty patch of space could become a weapon in human hands. The Council had ignored warnings about Earth. Now they were paying the price for that. Arrogance. But the war was far from over, and the aliens were about to discover that human ingenuity had no limits when their survival was at stake. 6 months after the Battle of the Asteroid Belt, the Galactic Council met in emergency session. The beautiful chamber that had once hosted the dismissive rejection of humanity's peace offer now buzzed with tension and barely hidden panic. Advisor Keithley, the ancient crystal being who had warned against ignoring Earth's power, stood before the assembled delegates. Despite having no face that others could read, he somehow managed to show profound disappointment. In my 10,000 years of life, Keithley began, his voice ringing through the chamber like bells in a storm, I have watched 47 galactic civilizations rise and fall. I have seen species reach greatness through wisdom, cooperation, and respect for others. I have also seen them destroy themselves through pride, aggression, and the deadly mistake of underestimating their enemies. High Chancellor Vexthara, his once perfect shell now bearing scars from a species at war, shifted uncomfortably in his crystal seat. The bug leader, who had so easily dismissed humanity's peace request, now faced a crisis that threatened everything they had built. This situation cannot continue, Vexthara declared, though his voice lacked its previous confidence. These humans have proven tougher than we expected, but they are still just one solar system. We have the resources of 12 worlds and billions of citizens. We can overwhelm them through sheer numbers. A bitter laugh echoed through the chamber. The sound came from General Morris Kane, the human military advisor who now sat at the council table. He was not there as someone begging for recognition, but as the representative of a power that could no longer be ignored. High Chancellor, Kane said, standing to address the assembly, you still do not understand what you are dealing with. You keep thinking of this as a normal war between galactic powers. But humans do not fight normal wars when our survival is at stake. Keithley gestured for Kane to continue. The ancient being had spent months studying human military thinking and had reached conclusions that terrified him. Kane turned on his holographic projector, showing tactical information that sent waves of fear through the assembled delegates. While you have been gathering fleets for direct battle, we have been doing what humans do best. We adapt and evolve. Show them, Captain Rodriguez. Captain Maria Rodriguez, commanding the stealth ship Phantom, appeared as a glowing image from somewhere deep in council space. Her presence alone proved humanity's capabilities. She was broadcasting from a position that should have been impossible for human ships to reach. General Kane, I am currently stationed 3 light years from the Korathian homeworld of Korth Prime. The planet is defended by 17 orbital battle stations, 43 destroyer-class vessels, and a planetary shield generator that the Korathians believe makes their world invulnerable. Rodriguez paused, letting the meaning sink in. The shield generator has a critical flaw in its power system. A precisely placed explosive charge could cause a cascade failure that would leave the planet defenseless for about 17 minutes. More than enough time for a kinetic bombardment to sterilize the surface. The Korathian delegates jumped from their seats in outrage but Kane continued before they could protest. "Captain Thompson, please report your status." Another glowing figure appeared. Captain Bill Thompson, broadcasting from an equally impossible location. "General, I am currently positioned within the Zephyrian Home Systems asteroid mining complex. The facilities here process the rare minerals that power 70% of the Zephyrian fleet's advanced technology. A few strategic explosions would cripple their military production for decades." One by one, human captains appeared in holographic form, each reporting from positions deep within Council territory that showed Earth's ability to strike at the heart of every member species' infrastructure. "This is impossible." Thrakson roared, the scarred Korathian general who had survived the Battle of the Asteroid Belt. "Our sensors would have detected any human vessels in our territories." Dr. Jennifer Walsh appeared via hologram from her laboratory. "Aboard the research vessel Discovery." "General Thrakson, you are absolutely correct. Your sensors would have detected human vessels. That is why we did not send human vessels." The display changed to show technical specifications that made several delegates step back in horror. "We have developed artificial intelligence platforms capable of independent operation for extended periods. Each one is roughly the size of a shuttle and virtually invisible to conventional sensors. We call them Reaper drones, and we have deployed approximately 10,000 of them throughout Council space over the past 4 months." The chamber fell silent as the delegates absorbed what this meant. Humanity had not just matched the Council's military might. They had gone around it entirely. "The war can end today," General Kane announced. "Earth is prepared to offer terms for a permanent ceasefire and mutual recognition treaty. But these terms are not negotiable, and this offer expires in 72 hours. The holographic display changed one final time, showing a document that would reshape galactic politics forever. The Treaty of Soul recognizes Earth and all human colonies as sovereign territory. It establishes humanity as a full member of the Galactic Council with voting rights equal to any other species. It guarantees free passage for human vessels throughout Council space and commits all signatories to non-interference in human internal affairs. High Chancellor Vixthara studied the terms with growing dismay. "And if we refuse?" Kane's expression remained perfectly calm. "Then Captain Rodriguez and her colleagues will demonstrate that humans keep their promises. All of them, including the unpleasant ones. The choice is yours, High Chancellor. Peace or the destruction of everything you have built over thousands of years." Advisor Kefley rose slowly, his ancient form casting rainbow reflections throughout the chamber. "High Chancellor, members of the Council, I have seen civilizations rise to greatness through wisdom and fall to ruin through pride. The humans stand before us offering peace, despite having every advantage in this conflict. I urge you, do not let arrogance blind you to this opportunity." The silence stretched for long minutes. Finally, High Chancellor Vexthara spoke in a voice barely above a whisper. "What guarantee do we have that you will honor this treaty? What stops you from conquering us once we sign?" General Kane smiled for the first time during the entire meeting. "High Chancellor, if we wanted to conquer you, would we be offering you a treaty? We could have activated those Reaper drones months ago. We could have turned your home worlds into glass. Instead, we are sitting here talking. That should tell you something about human intentions. The vote was unanimous. Faced with the prospect of total destruction, the Galactic Council formally recognized humanity as an equal partner in galactic civilization. As General Kane signed the Treaty of Soul on behalf of Earth, he thought about the journey that had brought them to this moment. The galaxy's most powerful alliance had dismissed humanity as insignificant, ignored their warnings, and chosen war over diplomacy. Now they understood the price of that decision. "Welcome to the Galactic Council, General Kane. High Chancellor Vexthara said as the ceremony concluded. Perhaps now we can build a more peaceful future. Cain nodded diplomatically, but privately he knew the truth. Peace was not built on treaties or good intentions. It was built on the understanding that some species, when pushed too far, would burn down the galaxy rather than submit to conquest. The aliens had finally learned to take human warnings seriously. The question was whether they had learned it in time to avoid the fate that awaited those who threatened humanity's survival. The galaxy was big enough for everyone, but only if everyone remembered the lesson that Earth had just taught them. Ignore the warnings about humans at your own peril.